If you thought William Samoei Ruto is here to back down, expect more shocks. Kenyans, Ruto si mubaya, waliomzunguka ndo wabaya. The Kenyan Sovereign Wealth Fund 2025, a bill, already an act, passed by the National Assembly. Sikizeni vizuri wa Kenya, all the money and the revenues we are going to get from minerals and petroleum. Watu wa Turkana, tutam kabisa, sindio? Watu wa Migori huko gold. Dividends from state-owned enterprise. Proceeds from privatization and strategic asset sale. Si munajua ile siasa privatization, washauza, some of them, very nice. And budget surpluses and external grants earmarked for investment. All those revenues will be put under one umbrella by the name Kenya Sovereign Wealth Fund. Aya, the bill has 3 components. This is for the use. Sikizeni hapa, stabilization component. Cushions the economy from revenue volatility. Strategic infrastructure component funds major development projects. Na ya tatu inaitwa future generation. Urithi component, long-term savings for future generation. Hii ni mchezo wa kupata potea. Haya, tunaendelea Kenyans. One thing you need to understand, recently, President William Samoei Ruto, he launched an SWF framework alongside the National Infrastructure Fund as part of the Kenya shillings 5 trillion development roadmap over the next decade, which is going to be building 50 mega dams, 200 mini dams, 1,000 micro dams, 2,500 kilometer dwelling of highways, tarmacking of 28,000 kilometers of road, expanding the standard gauge railway and modernizing airports. Munasikia sindio? Munasikia? I think these promises, we've seen it somewhere before. These promises looks very familiar. So Kenyans, while you are busy preparing for Christmas, your members of National Assembly have already passed this bill. So they said why it matters. Reduce reliance on borrowing. You know, one thing that shocks me, President William Ruto, the issue is not even the Sovereign Wealth Fund. Other countries like Botswana, Norway, they have implemented and it's working so well. What shocks me is you've centered the management and the disbursement of all these funds under the Office of the Cabinet Secretary and National Treasury. That is where you are going to get it wrong. Already you know it. The moment you are going to politicize a sovereign fund, people are going to use the money to make their personal investments in the name of sovereign investments. We need to learn from what happened in Malaysia. I don't know, one MDB bank or something like that. You need to go and check. Under the leadership of President, I've forgotten his name, it was a huge scandal. Kenyans. Magarini Stadium, sijui nini. It used to happen, these kind of promises. Now that we've only remained with 1 year before our general election, the promises are coming back in big numbers. Meanwhile, mukaya hapo mkipiga makofi. Do you know 5 trillion Kenya shillings, wa Kenya? Do you know 5 trillion Kenya shillings? And we are still borrowing. Our wage bill is high. The international practice for wage bill is it should not be 7.5% of ordinary revenue. The current wage bill, I checked with Commission for Revenue, Salaries and Remuneration Commission, it's almost 7.9%. We are wasting a huge number of our funds on expenditure. And here you are being convinced that this government is going to deliver on infrastructure development. What about the health sector, by the way? I am so curious about that. Because you can't build roads for the sick nation. What is the level of affordability of these hospitals? Wale watu wa tutam, you guys said SHA is really working. Do you think we are going to sustain? Do you think this is something that we are going to sustain with how we've privatized our entities? With how we are losing investors to some countries like Ethiopia? Anyway, walisema ukishindana na ndovu kuhara utapasuka msamba. Our brothers in Ethiopia now, they have the largest dam in Africa. William Ruto wants to match their ego. Anyway, ni kwa hayo, mwende muangalie hiyo bill. Inaitwa Kenyan Sovereign Wealth Fund wa Kenya. Muzidi kusema tutam. Muzidi tu kumakinika. Na wale hawataki kumakinika pia, musimakinike. Asanteni sana.